Hey yo peeps, what's up with it? So we're gonna do a part 4 of What If Deku Was a Villain. There also most likely will be a playlist. And once I do part 5, depending on the response on this video, but if people are like commenting down dummy hard or whatever, I'll just put I might make a part 5, but make part 1 through 4 into like a little movie, just so everyone that's new to watching this can see them all easier. So yeah, but basically we pretty much left off where Deku fought Stain and they threw some quality hands. He beat Stain, and now he's basically in the process of recruiting everybody. And also to doodly note that this is right around the time he would be 14. So Bakugo would be ready to go into school, or the USJ issue would be coming up rather pretty soon. Like, all right. So this is how we're gonna do this shit, right? Deku basically gets information on all these people's quirks and their capabilities and stuff like that. The Stain influence happened a lot sooner because during the fight with Stain, I didn't say this, but I'm saying it now. During the fight with Stain, Stain was talking about his philosophy and all of this stuff, and he was even doing like that killer intent thing he did. This did happen more in the middle of the fight, and since this was being broadcasted almost like everywhere, not like nowhere near like inherently where heroes were, but it's kind of like it had the similar effect that it had in canon, but the only difference is it was more concentrated to just like certain individuals. So you still got Spinner, Toga, Dabi, all these people that were doing what they were doing originally. The only difference is Deku brought them in a lot sooner. Now with this being said, Deku's like, all right. He's like, wait a minute. He looks at Shoto, looks back at Dabi, and Dabi's just, he basically is like, hey, if you would be so kind, could you not say anything? And Deku respond accordingly. Interesting. And he's like, here, this is a suit for you. And he's like, what is this? But also, Dabi wouldn't say nothing because he saw what the kid could do. But he'd be like, he's like, what is this exactly? And he's like, well, those burnt marks wasn't from no enemy, was they? And then he says his full name. He's like, I don't know what Dabi's full name is, but he'll just say Dabi Shoto or something, like say his last name, and he'll look at him and be like, I heard about you. I got some good sources. Anyways, cracking his neck. Anyways, this suit will be perfect for you. It produces a very unique coldness, and it also injects coldness into your bloodstream. I'm not gonna bore you with the science. I'm just gonna say it, and that's what it is. All right. So basically, what it is it's gonna be a suit that makes his body cold, and this will be a manga spoiler, but oh well. If I recall correctly, I don't know if it was a theory or it's in the manga, but basically, Dabi's body is unique, right? When anybody has the power, when anybody has a certain power, their body has an immunity to it. Like if you're able to produce fire, you're not gonna burn yourself. Or if your body's able to produce ice, on average, you're not gonna freeze yourself. But with Dabi, right, his body's able to produce fires that's hotter than his father, but his body has an immunity to cold. If that makes any sense. So it would have been better if he was able to cold, ice bend, right? And Dabi was like, what? Don't worry, we'll train momentarily. I'll show you that, but you're gonna need to keep that suit on. And don't worry, it's never really coming off. It's almost like, I'll just say it's not really a suit per se, but it might be more of like some unique items that are placed on him, and Deku's just using that as his test run. He's like, I'm working more on the final product momentarily, but that's gonna take some time. Sorry, guys. Just woke up. This is gonna be more of a test placer for the time being. He goes over to Shoto and it's like he basically makes a different type of suit. One suit that allows him to it's a suit that allows him to regulate his temperature. So if one side gets too cold or too hot, it just enhances all his capabilities because all he would have to do is just switch between which power he's using. And so he's like, that should do nicely. And everyone else gets suits according to their needs. Stain doesn't really need a suit per se. He just gives Stains like some minor tips and stuff. Like most of this stuff is just like everyone's getting geared up. And he told Toga, he's like, he's looking into her eyes. I'm gonna need to talk to her by herself. He looked in her eyes and just saw everything he needed to know. He was like, yeah, no. So everyone else goes around basically trying their shit because like they're in like a testing ground. And Deku pulls Toga aside and says, follow me, sweetheart. And she's like, okay. If you try anything, Deku turns around with the most sinister look in his eyes. And like it's like he's like looking at her face, just looking at her like dead into her soul, and just said, Toga. He would say her full name, but I'm bad with names. He's like, Toga, I could easily have killed, murdered, or raped you if I wanted to. So don't think you have any power in this situation. It's either you follow me or you don't. But don't ever think you have the rights to threaten me. I've killed more people than you have in your lifetime. So try that shit again and see what happens. And when he said that, everyone felt that killer intent. Dobby was like, I don't know what happened over there. That got nothing to do with me. So they went off. Damn, I gotta look up why Mr. Marber joined. And so now we're gonna go over here, and Toga and Deku will be talking. And he'll be asking her what her life was like. And she would give a quick rundown. And he's like, you poor child. Well, let me explain to you. And basically, Deku just helps her, like, get over her forbiddenness of being, about her quirk. Which he did this with everyone throughout, this episode, per se. And he's helping everyone. He even helps Todoroki. He helps Shinzo. He's helping everyone get over their crux of their quirk. He's telling them that this is natural. If you desire to be a hero one day, which I could easily make your transparencies or like what you did in the past go away, it would be simple. There's nothing wrong with your quirk. You just need to know how to use it. So he's telling everyone all of this, right? When he pulled Toga to the side, he mainly was talking to her because her story was a little more peculiar. And he's like, here. And like he cuts himself a little bit. And he's like, here. And she's like, she does that like weird sinister smile. Like, what is this? Your quirk needs blood, right? I got a couple of theories, but I'm gonna need you to hold on to some of my blood. And so basically she devours that nigga's blood maliciously. And he's like, also here, I'm gonna give you 10 vials, but I want you to save the other 5 for later when you run out of these 5, basically, right? And so here you go. And just giving her these vials and stuff. He was like, all right. And it's gonna be a shorter part. My bad for the confusingness of this one. I was really just trying to think exactly where I was going to go with it. But on the next part, I will make it a wee bit better and a wee bit longer potentially. I will catch y'all guys later. And if y'all got any what if suggestions, let me know. And until then.